Here we go. 3, 2, 1.
Boom! Welcome to the Big Honker Podcast, brought to you by Double T British Kennels. I'm Jeff Stanfield with the world famous Andy Shaver.
The 3, 2, 1 kind of snuck up on me. I don't know what happened. I'm off.
Yeah,
I stayed up late last night watching my poor Packers.
It's Halloween. You know what?
They covered the spread, though. 10.5.
Let me tell you something about the Packers, too, last night. They should have kicked that field goal, and they'd had a chance to tie the game up at 7 instead of having to go for 3.
They did win.
No.
Win.
The 2 series before then, they went for it on 4th down. And it forced them to have to kick a 58-yard field goal or whatever it was. But if they would have went for 3, them fucking analytics on shit. You're down by 17. You got to have 3 scores anyways.
Right.
So I didn't understand that. Second thing is, Aaron Rodgers looked better in the second half of that game than he's looked all year long, I thought.
He moved more.
And I think he likes that kid from Nebraska, that wide receiver.
Right.
Because that kid worked back on him, and that made him happy. So, anyways.
Their line's atrocious. And that's the main crux of their issues
They suck. It's Halloween today.
It is.
I can't wait to scare all the little fuckers in Knox City today. I'm coming on. So with us today, he's got more hair than me and you do combined. Have you noticed that?
He does. Got a nice little mane there. Nice mane there.
Dustin Wolf, that's world famous now, right now.
He is. What did we just say? 1.5 million views?
1.5 million people watched you get your ass chewed out. So, did this take place in North Dakota?
Yeah.
So, let's give a background. There's a video floating on YouTube. What's it called?
Just type in, it's like hunter harassment, isn't it?
Crazy.
Yeah, pretty much. It's just called
Crazy Hunter Harassment's what it's called. Duck hunting in North Dakota, crazy hunter harassment.
Yeah.
So set this up for us. Who's that?
Someone just walked in here.
Do you mind if I vacuum? Fuck no, come to my house.
Come to Texas and vacuum.
Do you do dishes also? Wash my truck too while you're at it, bitch.
Rubbing a tug. Okay, so set this up.
Yeah, my windows are a little dirty.
Set this up for us. So you're duck hunting on a place, and it looks like there was a slough or a body of water off to the left, and you're hunting a field, and then it butts up to a cornfield. So set everything up for us. Kind of give us a synopsis of what all happened.
Okay, so basically, I was hunting a field of a landowner that I've hunted on multiple times, talked back and forth with him, and I had seen a bunch of birds in his field the night before in that bean field, and it's just right off the water. It's a big body of water, and I've wanted to set up away from the water just to be farther from it because the birds were sitting on that water.
Didn't want to blow them
didn't
up.
want to blow.
Makes sense. Right.
Started shooting. So we backed all the way up to the far side of the field, and there was a cornfield on the back side of it that the bean field butted up to. So we put 2 A-frames. I had my grandpa and great uncle with me, so we have to hunt them out of A-frames. They don't do so well out of layouts. So we're running A-frames, so we just backed them up to the edge of the corn. Stayed in the bean field that we had permission on. And after the first couple shots, basically this guy came out, the landowner of the cornfield. He came out in his Can-Am, and he said about 2 words, and I said about 2 words, and then he just started yelling. I was like, I have no clue what's going on or where this came from or why he's so angry. I said, I talked to Matt last night, and basically after that, he screamed at me and said, good for you, and just started going on and on about stuff, and I couldn't even get a sentence out of my mouth to defend myself or reason with him or do anything.
So was he trying to hunt that day? He was dressed in all camouflage. Was he going to try to hunt that day, and that's what he was pissed off about, or was he just pissed off that you were on the property line?
That's That's what I gathered from it, was he was trying to hunt that day, which there was, okay, so there was a group that was set up in the cornfield. They came and set up after we had already set our decoys, and they set up a couple 100 yards back, probably 500-600 yards away. And I was like, okay, well, that's fine. I mean, they saw us over here. And then on the way out, when I went to go park the trucks, I stopped and talked to him. I said, hey, where are you guys parked? I don't want to screw up any birds coming from the water, wherever your birds are coming from, wherever. So I asked them where they wanted me to park, and they're like, well, we're parked down here, blah, blah, whatever. And I went over and I parked over there. It was like a mile walk back, but just out of courtesy, I parked far enough away so it wouldn't screw up anything with them. So then he came out and he was saying that he was going to hunt with them. I'm like, okay, well, why aren't you hunting with them? They're over there shooting birds right now while you're yelling at me. But yeah, it was just a big mess, basically. The dude, like I said, you couldn't reason with him at all. He was, if you guys have seen the video, I'm sure you have, it was a lot of yelling on his end and me just standing there.
So who did the videoing? Was that one of your buddies?
Yeah, that was one of my friends. He just had a GoPro on his head, and I was like, you're probably going to want to record this if he keeps yelling. He was already recording right away when he came up, just because it was like, he didn't know what was going on. And then every time he kept coming back and yelling at us, he had his GoPro on. So I'm kind of glad he had that for
so he would leave and come back. This wasn't just a 30-minute straight ass chewing. He would leave and then he'd chew your ass, leave, come back.
No. Yeah, he was in the field for like
Really?
3 hours.
In behind you?
Yeah, until the DNR showed up. He was there keeping all the birds away from us. Like every time a duck would be coming towards us, he'd come ripping out in his Razor or his Can-Am and hop out and start yelling and scare every bird away possibly.
Okay, let me get staged up. Have you dealt with this guy before?
No, I haven't. So that was another thing. He said, he's like, you could have came and talked to me, and I've tried to get a hold of him because he's had birds on his fields, and it's an area I scout quite a bit. He's had birds in his fields multiple times. Like he's got some good stuff right around a bunch of water, a bunch of different roosts. So I've been to his house, knocked on his door. I've called him a couple times and never got a hold of him. And then he was going on about how I haven't ever tried to contact him. I didn't try to talk to him the night before.
But you don't need to talk to him the night before.
He said, well, maybe
you don't need to talk to him.
Harder.
You're hunting on another landowner. Like, it doesn't matter if I talk to you or not.
Well, and I tried to explain that to him too. And it's just like, there was no making any sense with him.
So what did the other the guy that you did hunt on, the landowner, had dealings with the man and was not good? Or did they get along?
Well, they're actually related, believe it or not. They're cousins, and like I said, I don't want to get into that. I don't want to cause any more problems between them. But yeah, so they're actually cousins, but I don't think they get along.
So he wanted you to have permission from him to hunt field that he doesn't own. You were on the property. Were you on his property?
Correct.
Or were you where you were supposed to be at?
No,
so you were not on his line, because on the video you can't tell if you're sitting in the corner or not. So you were on your property.
No, you can. You're right. You're right. You can. Yeah. In the video, it appears that you're right on the edge.
But you're on your property. Really, there ain't shit he can do other than just be an ass.
Yeah. That's one thing about the video that I wish my buddy who had filmed it would have went back and talked about or showed, like once he left, would be like step out of the blind and show him where it's actually sitting, because we didn't move it this whole time until DNR came out. Basically we called the DNR. He said, just hang out where you're at, I'll come out, take pictures, just document this whole thing. So we just left it right where we were sitting, right where we put it right away in the morning. And we had it was on the line, like here's the corn, here's the beans. We were butted up to the corn, but we were on the bean field.
He in the video he said that there's like a corn stalk or something touching your blind. What was that about?
That was him basically trying to find any way to get us in trouble.
And what did DNR say
DNR?
whenever he said,
there
yeah,
was
go
some
ahead,
grass.
explain that.
There was some grass off the back of our blind that was like, it's an A-frame, so all the grass kind of just hangs out. And there was like some blades of grass that touched a corn stalk. Like we were right next to it, so I mean,
I think that's kind of like the old tree rule.
At that point.
You can have tree on your property if it hangs over somebody else's and shit. It's that when it's over that boundary line, it's really a kind of a gray area type deal.
Right.
It's not a. I mean,
yeah.
The corn stalk might be on his property, but that stuff over the top is hanging. It might be on somebody else's property.
Right. And then another thing he said, he tried to. It seemed like he tried to expand his property line a little bit. So he was like, well, my corn stops here, but like actually, like if you look at it, like I bet my property line, and like he pointed like at the middle of your blind. He's like, it probably ends right there.
Yeah, he was talking about some like 8-foot easement. And I'm like, okay, well, if there's an 8-foot easement into the bean field, then there's an 8-foot easement into your cornfield. But I have no clue what he was talking about at that point. I'm like,
how long did it take DNR to get there?
Once he was called, it was probably 45 minutes.
How far did he have to come from?
North Dakota's, the DNR are pretty thin, so they have to come from a ways away a lot of times.
Were you ever concerned about like your physical safety? Like here, you got an old man. I mean, after what we saw at Reelfoot, like here, we got an old man screaming at us.
Yeah. I mean, there was 5 or 6 of us and him, but I mean, regardless, I don't want anyone to get physically hurt. It crossed my mind a couple times, but I tried my best to just keep it cool and not make it any worse than it was going to be. I've had tons of people message me saying like, I don't know how you kept your cool. I would have.
That's a good move. You didn't do that.
Yes.
You'd had ever.
Basically, I've told everyone like, yeah, it wouldn't have helped the situation. Yeah, I mean, probably would have felt good at the time. But
did you say you were with your dad and your grandpa?
I was with my grandpa and his brother, so my great uncle, and then
now that would have been my
buddies.
problem if it would have been my grandkids and I'd been the grandpa out there. I'm an old man by this time in my life. I'd been ready to snap that fucker's neck off. That would have pissed me off more. I can handle someone cussing at me, but you cuss at my kids or my grandkids, and I'm gonna get pissed, or even a friend of mine. So I'm.
See, that's kind of how I felt. I was like, if he says anything to either my grandpa or my great uncle, that
you cuss me out.
I can handle people yelling at me.
Fuck, I've been married a long time. I'm used to getting bitched at about shit I didn't do wrong, so it's no big. That's no big deal. But
you're not getting yelled at. You kind of wonder what your day's headed towards.
Yeah, if Michelle's all nice and shit, I think she's fucking poisoning me.
She's planning.
Someone asked me the other day at work one day. They go, "What's Michelle in a bad mood for?" Well, I woke up this morning. I set her whole day off. So, I'm just trying to wrap my head on this. So this guy is now he let someone else hunt in his field.
Or did he know him?
Yeah. I don't think he knew him. Like it was just some random people that had.
But he'd given them permission. Now, is North Dakota? Are those farmers? Are y'all paying to hunt there? Y'all getting trespass fees? Is that legal in North Dakota?
Yeah. Some farmers do have a pay to hunt. A lot of it, you can go up to their door and they'll let you right on. I always offer them ask them what they drink. They want beer, scotch, whiskey, whatever.
Being nice and friendly. Yeah.
Give them a thank you gift.
Politicking.
Yeah. But a lot of it's freelance. You can just go knock on a door.
But a guy like that makes you wonder if he wasn't getting paid by the guys in his field and they're pissed off because someone's hunting. They're like, well, dang, we paid good money to hunt here. And then you got these guys that are hunting next to us right on the line. And I'm wondering.
Well, that's the thing. I talked to the guys that were hunting in the field. And they were super nice. They said, yeah, we're parked down here. If you could park your truck over there, that'd be great. I went down there. I parked the truck. I said, good luck today, guys. Hope you shoot them up.
Now,
said, good luck, you too.
You don't.
And that was my interaction with the group.
Now, you don't know if that guy, did he roll into that spread late, I wonder? Because it would almost seem like if you went and talked to those guys, if he was there, he would have piped up then.
Yeah, you would think, but he wasn't out there when I went over and talked to them. He came out like right at shooting time in his Can-Am. So that makes me wonder if he was even going to hunt or if he was just saying that.
Now did he asked you for money, didn't he? Like he said, give me money and then this can go away?
Yeah, he said, give me a couple, $200-300 and I'll let you hunt here and I'll leave you guys alone.
It's not yours to take money on, though.
I'm like, I'm not on your land.
Right, it's not your land.
I
don't have to pay you anything. This is not your land to say who comes and goes.
So he's wanting you to pay to hunt on his cousin's place. That's all it was about was money.
But
that's what it's
him,
about. This whole thing's mad. He wasn't cashing in on it.
Yeah, I don't know if he had a bad crop this year or what.
Shit, but
so when DNR shows up, 45 minutes later, who called? You or the old man?
He called him initially, and I went to call him, and then just sitting in his Can-Am behind us, and he came flying up to us again. He goes, "I'm on the phone with the DNR right now." Perfect. I'm like, "Oh, okay." Who are you talking to? John, James,
right?
Or Mac? And he's like, "I got Myrie on the phone right now." It was James Myrie, the DNR officer that came out. I was like, "Okay." So then I waited for him to get off the phone, and then I called him myself and just to see what he was doing, if he was actually coming out or not. And he was on his way when I finally talked to him, but he was on the phone with him for probably 20 minutes, just yelling and yelling and yelling.
And then DNR shows up, and then what do they decide?
Basically, he got out of the truck and the landowner who was mad at us was like, "All right, I want all these guys ticketed, take their licenses away. I want the max everything." He's like, "Well, I'm just going to document everything and take pictures because there's not really much wrong here. Like, they're on a property line, so it's kind of a gray area if the grass is touching your corn." So basically, he just took pictures, and what he did was he took pictures. He put his foot at the base of our A-frame, like, it has the metal frame. He put his foot on the back edge of the pole and took a picture, and it was a good foot and a half away from the corn. So I don't see anything coming of it on our end. The only thing I see possibly happening is that landowner getting.
Now, have you filed
ticketed.
anything on him as far as like hunter harassment or anything?
No, I mean, like I said, I'm pretty laid back and easygoing, so I don't really care if he gets a ticket or not. I just kind of want this situation to dissolve. So no, I haven't filed anything against him. No.
If anything does happen, I mean, because it seems pretty clear to me if the guy has ruined your hunt, he's running up and down in his Can-Am, he's clapping, he's scaring your birds away.
That is harassment.
If that's not hunter harassment, then I don't know what is. Yeah. So if something sticks on your end as far as trespassing, do you think that you would counterfile on him for hunter harassment?
I think technically, if something sticks on our end and we are trespassing,
and you can't,
then that would completely negate him getting anything, as far as an extortion ticket or hunter harassment ticket, because he is on his own land.
Yeah, but you still can't. If you're on your own land, you can't harass somebody hunting. I mean, there's rules on that stuff.
But you're not on his land.
Yeah.
So,
did you go across his land though?
No, we didn't shoot a single duck over the corn. We never walked on the corn. Never
drove on the
corn.
Went in nothing like that. It was all in the bean field.
Oh, well, then you're not going to get a trespassing ticket then. So
it's all going to come down to the blade of grass. It sounds like if the blade of grass is touching a corn stalk, if a judge,
you can get Robert Durst attorney. You're off on that. They're not going to get you for that. I don't think, unless North Dakota's got some weird laws. I don't think you can get that to stick. But
I'd find it pretty ridiculous if we got any tickets for grass.
And then you're just going to let it go. Like once you,
what would you do, Andy?
I'd let it go.
I would too.
Yeah, I'd let it go. I think you're doing. I'm not. I mean, I'm just trying to get what you're saying.
You've embarrassed the fuck out of him already, or you should have. I bet he's not the kind of guy that gets embarrassed. But boy, I tell you what, if I had him as a neighbor, I'd have more fun jacking with him about this. God almighty, all the time I'd jack with him. But him clapping and running the thing when y'all are working decoys and stuff and shit, that's just an asshole move.
Right.
And he's wearing camouflage. So was he wanting to hunt himself?
Yeah.
That's what he was saying.
He did want to hunt, and he wanted. So he's leasing guys money to hunt on his property.
We don't know
Was
that.
he going to hunt with them, or was he going to hunt separate?
He was going to hunt with them.
So
I would assume he was going to hunt with them.
did
It's
those
not
guys
that big of a
complain about
cornfield.
y'all that you know of?
No, I don't think they did. I mean, like I said, I went over and talked to him in the morning. He was really nice to talk to. We basically told each other good luck.
So
And
you don't think he got on
have
the
a good
phone and
hunt.
called this guy and said, listen, there's some jackasses hunting next to us. And that guy said, what do you mean? That's my cousin's place. I try to make money selling hunts off of it. If you would have paid him money, he would have walked off there. How much money did he want? $100, $300 is what his daily trespass fee was. It's interesting. I'm betting you that's what the other guys in that bond paid too then.
Jeff, you don't know that. And we only deal with facts here. You've said it yourself. You're speculating. It's not very journalistic of you.
I'm a speculating son of a bitch, and that's what I'm speculating for sure.
Um,
If he asked them $300, that had to be a going rate. That's just a
you
figure.
don't know that. He might have wanted $300 for his gas.
I doubt that they paid anything to hunt his field. It was like
Right,
a husband
yeah.
and wife
No,
and a
that's
couple kids.
textbook. That's textbook
So-
freelancer, Jeff.
So there's little kids out there watching all this shit too.
How far away is the other blind?
They were on the other side of a hill.
Okay, so
500-600
they're
yards
not
away.
having to watch this guy have a meltdown, and little Timmy and little Johnny are like
No.
crying in the blind because an old man is yelling at the top of his lungs.
No, it was far enough
Right,
away. I don't think
right.
they could even see
And you
us.
said they were shooting also, like when all this was going on?
Oh yeah, the ducks were they were coming to us, and then they'd flare
right.
obviously because he's sitting out there clapping and flashing his brights and doing everything possible to scare them. They'd flare off us, and then they'd
And then
go
they
over
would
to them. And he'd continue complaining that I was ruining his hunt, and I'm like, well, they're over there.
Did
shooting.
any of
You
that
could be
make
in the
it? Yeah,
blind with
did
them.
any of that make it on video? Do you know of? Did your friend video them? Where you could hear them shooting?
It may be in some of the clips. I'm
so
not sure.
DNR comes. How long is the DNR out there, or are they they do their investigation pretty quick?
He, like I said, he just came out, took pictures, and kind of de-escalated the situation, which was good. He was there for probably 30 minutes. I wrote just a statement on a piece of paper for him. And it was basically a statement for all of us. We all signed it and gave him a statement because he had to take the pictures to a state's attorney, all that just to see what was going to come of all of this. But yeah, he was there 30,
So it
45
took him 45
minutes,
minutes to get there. Did it look like the guy showed up right at first light? Had y'all shot at all when that guy showed up?
Yeah, we had shot a couple
So
widgeons
you got
and
three, or
mallards
you
right
got
at
5
first
ducks or
light.
something like that. He shows up. He starts that. 45 minutes later, the game warden shows up. Game warden's out there 45 minutes. So you're looking at hour and a half, 2 hours into the hunt. I mean, is your hunt basically
Yep.
ruined at this point? Do you just pack up and leave whenever DNR leaves?
Oh yeah, I mean, they both the angry landowner and the DNR finally left the field around 10 o'clock, and I want to say shooting time was 7:30ish.
So your hunt's ruined at this point. You had it, and it,
Yeah, they ended up both leaving, and we shot like 10 more ducks that were just kind of still trickling off the water. But yeah, it would have been a really good hunt the whole time there was birds trying to come into us. But yeah,
so that's what I was going to
basically
ask. It
ruined the
was going to
hunt.
be a banger of a hunt had this all not happened.
Oh yeah.
Could you imagine being
Oh,
that husband and wife with your kids down here? We're going to go out and watch the sunrise and have a beautiful hunt,
Shoot
spend
some
some
ducks.
family time. And there's crazy Uncle Wilbert out there in the fucking Can-Am running up and down, cussing at some other guys for hunting. I mean, jeez. That little kid would be a little kid. Look at
Yeah.
that crazy fucker. That's my uncle there. Uncle Wilbert.
Yeah.
What's he
Now
doing, Dad?
so your buddy films it, and then when he uploaded it to YouTube, was he thinking like, okay, we can kind of get your side of the story out there, or what was he thinking when he uploaded it?
World star.
Oh,
I guess he does a lot of like fishing videos during the summer. Like he has a YouTube channel, and he'll post hunting videos during the fall and stuff. So he was just making another hunting video. I mean, we ended up with like 13 ducks that day. So we put the hunting part of it in, and then put the harassment part, which was basically the whole video.
So it's like 30 minutes long. This video is.
Yeah. I guess he just posted it so people could see like what had happened, because I called my buddies. I'm like, dude, you're not going to believe what I've been dealing with for the last 3 hours.
Like, Jesus, thank God I didn't go on that hunt.
Like I've never dealt with anything that extreme. Like it was actually unreal how much angry energy that man had.
I can only think of one time here we had an incident like that in 30 years. It's when Dad burned the fucking berm.
Yeah.
Some guys were trespassing on this, and my dad said, fuck it. And he just burned the damn burn where they were at.
Did DNR, did they like offer anything? Like, do you have any idea when this will all be resolved? Is it going to be pretty quick, do you think? Or is this something that's going to drag on into all hunting season?
I have no clue. I mean, the state's attorney has to review whatever they're going to review. And I guess we heard that there was supposed to be some kind of settlement this week of what's going on. So we should be hearing shortly here what's actually going to come of this, which I don't think anything is. But
I don't either.
It's some crazy stuff, though, but nothing surprises me at all. It just... people are fucking neurotic.
Yeah. We were pretty amazed at how much the video actually that video blew up. Like 1.5 million views.
Now, when did this? What
that.
day did this happen? What was the date? It's Halloween as a recording of this.
Oh, it had to have been the 19th.
2 weeks ago, basically, is all this was.
So
this caught fire immediately.
That sounds about right. Yeah, like the day of, it had probably 100,000 views.
Yeah, everybody shares on every waterfowl forum, every private Facebook page, every hunting group. They're like, check this out. And
Mm-hmm.
you know, there's the anti-hunters have to get a kick out of this shit. I mean, it'd be like me going to watch. It'd be like two figure skaters fighting. I don't give two shits about figure skating, but watch them two idiots fight each other out there. I'd be all about it. So you know they got to enjoy that shit too. Oh fuck yeah!
I'd probably watch that too. It'd be pretty funny.
Probably women figure skaters, because men figure skaters wouldn't be much fighters. You know, that'd be embarrassing. Imagine getting your ass whooped by a male figure skater. God, that'd be some bad shit right there. God almighty, who whooped your ass? Oh, Scotty Hamilton.
So would you hunt this bean field again? Just get out in it, just maybe a couple feet more, or like if it's stacked.
So here's the thing. We hunted that same bean field the next 2 days.
Ballsy on your end.
I would do that.
And we shot him pretty good both
I wonder
days.
if that guy was watching.
Oh yeah, he came out and he made his rounds. He literally drove the property line of his cornfield.
So where were you at in the field? Were you
both mornings
on the property line again?
I just said screw it and put the A-frame right in the middle of the field.
So you were out in there a little bit.
You ain't got no hair on your ass if you don't call that guy and ask him if you can hunt that field tomorrow.
My buddy actually called him the other day, not
really?
knowing that it was the same guy. Yeah, he's like, do you know so-and-so? I just talked to him. I'm like, yeah. Did you see the video?
That's so-and-so.
So
I've had my dealings.
What did he say?
Did he let him hunt?
He said, we don't let anyone hunt anymore due to
at least it's an altercation. You ought to tell him that you won't press charges on him if he'll just let you have the season lease for the next 3 years.
I need a 3-year lease. From
Yeah, there we go.
Have you hunted this field before, or was that the first time?
That was the first time hunting that field, but like I said earlier, I've hunted that landowner's property. He has other fields around a fair amount. I've hunted it 3-4 times this year. I'm
telling you what the answer is in North Dakota, and all the do-it-yourselfers are not going to like what I'm fixing to say. But pay to play is going to become the normal thing up there.
Why?
But
It's working its way north.
It's
all the way.
It is because here's the deal.
It's coming.
If you're from North Carolina and you drive to North Dakota and you want to hunt for a week, you haven't got no problem at all paying $50 a gun. There's 6 of you and pay $300 a day. We'll pay $50 a day to get a hunt somewhere. You hunt 7 days, you're paying $350. That's cheap to get a trespassing fee to go hunt.
But the farmers already have that discretion, don't they? Like they can charge.
But it's going to become more stuff like this. And you didn't do anything wrong. I'm just saying stuff like this incident starts making it out where, listen, JoJo already leased my stuff for a week. The farmer's like, listen, I don't mind you hunting, but it's leased. And that's what's going to end up happening on that deal, and they're going to deal with 3 or 4 people they know, or a guy that farms a bunch of different acres up there is going to meet some guys that have hunted on him, and somebody's going to call up and say, listen, I'll give you $3,000 if we can hunt your stuff for that week. We're going to be there and he'll say, okay. And then he's off the hook for having to let anybody else hunt. That's the way the world's going. And if you look at it and you're paying $50 a gun, that's a fair price for the farmer, and that's a fair price for the guy that's getting to hunt.
Yeah, unfortunately, I think that's what it's going to happen eventually up here. I mean, it's probably going to take some time before that starts happening, but I like that it's so free right now. I mean, you can go wherever and start talking to people, and all of a sudden you're on this, and this, and you got stuff to hunt for the whole week just from talking to people. I agree with you. But I do see that happening in coming years, where there's going to be a lot of farmers that have gotten paid, and then they'll just continue to expect that.
But it's not free like it was. We went to North Dakota, 6-7 years ago?
Yeah.
And from then to today, it's already changed a bunch. You can't hardly get on places. It's all digital. There's a lot more. So you imagine 20 years ago what it was like.
Right.
7 more years from now, if you're going to hunt North Dakota, you're going to pay to hunt. I'm telling you, that is going to be the trend. And the people that listen to this get pissed off. That's just the way life is. You got a farmer out there, crop prices are not up. The cost of input is higher. They're trying to make a living too. And that, there's a meme floating around. Some meme people were talking about this the other day, do you call your car dealer up and you're friends with him and say, hey, you're going to give me a free car. You're going to do this free. Well, stuff's not free in this country no more. So if you want to hunt, you're going to have to pay to hunt anymore. And it's going to be, North Dakota is going to be one of the places people are going to start leasing up a bunch of property up there to hunt. But I don't blame people. If I was going to North Dakota next year and I was planning on hunting somewhere, and I know a couple of big farmers up there that I've met and some through the podcast, I'd call up and say, hey, there's going to be 10 of us coming. We want to hunt for 7 days on just y'all's stuff. If I pay you $2,500, $4,000 for the week for 10 of us, could we get that we can have exclusive to hunt any of your stuff? Well, them farmers are going to say, well, fuck, that's $4,000 more than I made last week. Yeah, I'll do that with you. And I think you're going to see trends of that happening. And if you're driving that far to go hunt, why would you not want to guarantee your place if it costs you a couple $100, $300, $400 a person to have that right? Yeah,
and that you can hunt.
One day it might be really bad, and the next 4 days it might be really good, or vice versa. But at least you have places to hunt, and you don't have to, because it's a mad dash up there if you find a hot field to who the first person to call to ask to do it, isn't it?
Oh yeah, especially in the area we're hunting around Devil's Lake. This is like a hotspot destination for people to come to from out of state. It's like that's where you're going if you're coming to North Dakota. You're going to go up by Devil's Lake. So yeah, there's a lot of
that's where we were
going
to go to the Devil's Lake area when we went to North Dakota a couple years ago, and then we found out that it was basically the place in North Dakota.
We couldn't get lodging.
So we went further west. We went to Napoleon.
Yeah, if I was you, I would recommend going anywhere but Devil's Lake, just to get away from birds all across the state.
Napoleon. We don't go no more, and we don't have time to go. But we went there because I could get a hotel. I got hotel rooms. I got on the internet and I looked for towns that had lodging, and I found a place that had a lodging. So I got us rooms for 5 days, like 3 or 4 rooms.
Yeah.
And if it wouldn't have been for that, we would have went somewhere else. And but that's the problem is you're facing more and more people. I thought North Dakota might back down a little bit now that with the no vax rule in Canada, people are going to start going to Canada until they shut all that shit down. And I still say that's coming. And Ontario is going to try to put a vote to a bunch of it.
Have the last couple of years just been insane with hunter influx due to Canada having a vax?
It's been more and more each year. I guess, with Canada closing down, it was like 1 year, it didn't seem bad. And then Canada closed down in that year is like, holy shit, there are people everywhere. I mean, no matter where you were, whether it was Devil's Lake, Jamestown, Rugby, it was like wherever you went, there was just tons of people.
I mean, in some regards, South Dakota kind of has it right doing the draw system because they limit the amount of people that come in there. Now, I understand that, you know, by doing that, a lot of people can't go to South Dakota that might want to go to South Dakota. But, I mean, otherwise, you'd have every Tom, Dick, and Harry burning down every single dirt road that's in South Dakota. So,
is it Manitoba going to vote now? They're voting on whether they're going to let. Well, it's coming down to, one guy really explained on a post that I read was that they want all waterfowl hunters to come from out of country to have to go with an outfitter, just like they do big game hunting. Like I guess you're not going to be able to go to Canada and shoot an elk or a bear. You have to go through an outfitter if you're out of state or out of country. So I'm assuming that's what's going to happen in Canada on waterfowl.
They're wanting to get rid of the freelancer.
Well, they can regulate it more.
How so?
Well, if you're only hunting with outfitters, they got to just check outfitters for the, all their sales are doing, taxes on them. I just think it's more oversight by the government is why. But what are they going to do about fishing? Are they going to do the same thing with fishing? I wonder. Where you're going to have to use a fishing guide up there.
I don't know.
So let's talk North Dakota. I had a guy talk to me today, and he'd been at Devil's Lake. Y'all's high is 61 degrees today, is what I understand. Is that right? That's exactly it's ridiculous. Part of the word he used, and he used something with the F before ridiculous. But is the bird hunting slowing down up there? Or is it really good right now, or is it tough?
It's been slow for the last couple of weeks. I mean, we really haven't. We had a little bit of a cold front like 2.5 weeks ago, and it didn't push a whole lot of birds down because when we got that cold front, it was 70 degrees in Alberta. And yeah, we really didn't get any birds out of that. And since then, it's been 50, 60 degrees every day. Most years, I tell people ask what's the best time to come to North Dakota. I pretty much tell everyone every year. It's like Halloween weekend is like usually my favorite time to be out. And it is definitely not this year. It's way too warm. Haven't gotten a push of birds. The weather's just been
there is a front stale on the way because I'm looking at Minot's 10-day forecast. 61 Monday, 68 Tuesday, 39 with snow on Thursday. Then next Monday, 27, 27, 26. Yep. So what's going to happen is the water's going to freeze up, but there ain't no freaking snow to cover the food up. Now, is it?
Yep. So what I see happening is the birds are going to come down and they're going to be stuck on big water. All the potholes are going to freeze as soon as you have those back to back days of 27 degree highs. We still have a lot of birds to come down, so I have a feeling there's going to be some very large roosts building on big water. And as long as it doesn't snow and cover up all the food, we should have birds still here. But the worrisome thing is if they come down and see that everything's frozen and just blow right through here, we may not get birds
Josh
to stick around.
Here with us, and he just flipped up Peace River, and that's what I was looking for. Their high is going to be single digits starting that same week.
Ooh.
And down to 0 and -0. So we're going to get birds are going to get pushed out of Canada.
We're going to get our first push.
And we are
big push.
We have as many geese as we've ever had this time of year. Ever.
Yep.
It's crazy, the birds we have.
Did you hear that? That was my dick hitting the table.
2 weeks ago, Andy was negative Nancy. All them damn specks are all coming from Canada. Everybody shot all of them up, blah, blah, blah. Now he's got a hard-on sitting here with 2 men in here. That's kind of scary if you ask me.
Well, Dustin's a good look. It's a hair on Dustin that's got me.
When's the last time you got a haircut? The back, not the sides.
Probably. Oh, no, it was in August. It was
How
right
was
before
that?
Early Goose Opener.
What was early goose opener like this year?
It was pretty good, honestly. Well, I guess that first week of early goose season was tough. It usually is super hit and miss because you're hunting those local birds and you're either on them or you're not. And it's so hot that they'll walk right out of the water into a field and go feed. So, I mean, it takes the right day to shoot them, but the early goose season in general up until mid-September was
that's good.
Pretty good this year.
What was I about to ask? Oh, how long will y'all hunt till? What day will y'all shut it down? Or is it all weather dependent? Yes, sir.
As far as guiding? For guiding, we are going to be done November 15th, which I think may be early with how warm it is this year, but most years you're playing with possibly freezing out.
Because what was it, 2 or 3 years ago? There was this big, massive blizzard. Like, what was it? Like, it was mid-October, wasn't it?
It was 2019. We got a blizzard October 11th.
I mean, that basically fucks everything up.
I mean, we had incredible hunting that year. That was some of the worst flooding we've had in over 100 years in North Dakota that fall. So it was an extremely wet fall. We had sheet water in every field. Ducks were spread everywhere, but it made for some really awesome hunting on the sheet water and wheat fields and corn fields and stuff like that.
Tough conditions, but great hunting.
That was just a completely different year than normal.
And I think it was around 2014 or 15 when they had the big blizzard in South Dakota in October, killed all the cattle. And it was horrible. It had like 4 foot of snow and 80-mile-an-hour winds, and it killed tons of cows. But I think that was in 2014 or 12 or 13. It was way back there a long time ago. So I had a really good question, and I forgot what it is. Have you had the water at Camp Lejeune? No, that wasn't the question.
2013.
What's the weirdest shit? People ask me to ask this all the time. I have a guy messages me every day. You forgot to ask this.
You forgot to ask
What's the weirdest thing you've ever seen in the outdoors while you're hunting?
Old man one time came up behind me on a Can-Am and yelled at me for 30 minutes. That's the weirdest fucking thing I've ever seen. For hunting somebody else's field.
That's what's fucking funny.
Yeah, that's probably going to have to go at the top of the list. I mean, I don't know if I'll ever see or experience anything like that. That was, I wouldn't say describe that as weird.
You're going to see a video just like that. This year, Justin Hill's going to have a group, and I'm going to run out there, and I'm going to fucking jump their ass.
Jeff Stanfield.
God damn you son of a bitch. What are you doing hunting on this field right here? No, it's not mine. It's another outfitter's. But by God, you sorry fuckers, get out of here.
It's another guys I have. And I want you to pay me to hunt it.
Yeah. Yeah, I just got to get money out of them. So what's the weirdest shit you've ever seen other than
something that you couldn't explain? How about that? Why the man was so angry that was yelling at me?
I don't know. I've seen ducks and geese crash into each other, like going straight at each other and crash into each other before. I thought that was pretty funny.
Get down into the spread?
Yeah, just literally racing into
I had
fields.
A story one time. The Wagner Ranch, big ranch over here that dickhead that owns the St. Louis Rams bought. They had
you've never met the guy. He might be totally nice.
Everybody I know says he's a dickhead. People in St. Louis say he's a dickhead. I like people in St. Louis. Anyways,
you trust him.
He told me that an old man that used to work there told me they used to hunt, and they used to hunt out of a Cadillac convertible. They could pull the car into the blind, take the roof down off it, and they'd shoot there in the car and shoot these birds out of it. But they said they had a thunderstorm hit one time. And a norther hit with 60, 70-mile-an-hour winds, and those geese were trying to get back in that water, and the wind was blowing. It was storming and lightning so bad. And he said the next morning there were dead geese in the trees, where they'd crashed in the trees,
really,
all around the thing, which I thought was pretty interesting. Anyways, what's the weirdest shit you've seen?
So one of our guides here, Ryan, he was telling a story the other day. He saw some guys that were parked on a field on a cornfield up on a hill, right off the water, and do you guys know what a snow bear is? A snow bear? No, like it's not. It's a machine.
No, I do not. What is it to make the hole or?
Okay, so it's like a fully enclosed cab with 2 lines. There's like bench seats down either side, and then there's holes in the floor, and it's on tracks and has skis, and you drive it out on the lakes and go.
We don't have those
fishing. Here. Anyways, these guys had a snow bear parked on top of a hill in a cornfield, and they had the windows just like pop out and up. They had the windows open and were absolutely mowing snow geese. Like every flock that came off the water would come straight over them. And it's just this big white vehicle parked on top of a hill. And they were just mowing snow geese out of the snow bear.
God love them.
Okay, yeah, Stoner shows us a picture of one of them now. It's like a bus with no wheels on it. That's it.
Kinda, not quite. It's like a short bus.
That's pretty damn interesting right there.
That is crazy.
They're pretty sweet. People put like TVs and stuff in them, and you just drive around on the lake. You don't like your fishing spot, you go to the next one. But this is in the middle of winter when you can drive on the ice, and you don't really want to be outside. And so it's nice. They're heated. It'll be 70 degrees sitting in your shorts and t-shirt.
Now, do you
watching
go
TV
south
and
to
ice
guide at
fishing.
all, or is North Dakota it for you?
I don't, or I haven't, I should say. This is actually my first year getting into guiding. I've been hunting since before I could hold a gun. My grandpa and dad got me into it super young. So this is my first year getting into guiding. I'd like to continue my season and go south and do more guiding south of here, but I don't know if I'm going to do that this year or not.
If you're sending an application out now, this is not for you. Like, this is for people that just sent me one earlier today.
I've had 5 calls. You had someone today?
Yeah.
I've had 5 calls in the last week, guys wanting guidance. I was thinking, it's fucking November.
Yeah, we start on Saturday. We've got our roster set.
Unless something happens to somebody,
like a compound fracture of the femur or something like that. Like,
don't wish that on nobody.
We're set. So
February is the time to look for
February,
a job.
March. That's when you want to find a job for the coming month.
What else do you do besides hunt and grow your hair out?
Tell old men to fuck off. This isn't his field.
I do commercial roofing during the summer.
And you're doing things pretty well. You've got a guy vacuuming your room, so that's pretty damn good.
I don't have that at my house.
Yeah, that is nice. I do that, and then in past years, I've helped my aunt out at her farm. They have a farm here in North Dakota, and they do sugar beets and wheat and sunflowers. And I've helped with the trucking side of things over there.
I didn't even ask that. Nice.
I'm 23.
You got a long career ahead of you. It sounds like you're doing things the right way, and you held your cool there. So my hat's off to you for that. And you're right. Like, decking that guy, it might have made you feel good in the short term, but like in the long term, nothing's probably going to come of this. Knock on wood. It doesn't seem. It seems like you were in the spot you needed to be. He was trying to extort you, but. If you hit the guy, then all of a sudden we got a whole new set of problems.
45 seconds later, you would have regretted that for a long time. You did the best thing you could do. You held it cool. Plus, it just opens up a confrontation with guns and all kinds of shit in today's world. It just
I don't. No. You never know what's going to happen. When people
just yes sir, no sir. World. Call the law and do it. What you can do. It does you good. When we talked about do's and don'ts, I'm going to give you another do or a don't. This is a big don't. If you and another group show up at the field at the same time and you both have permission, don't call the farmer at 4:30 in the morning, because then nobody's going to be hunting that son of a bitch.
No, never.
Because if you at 4:30 in the morning, you're going to piss off his wife.
Yeah. And
if the wife's pissed, then everybody's pissed. So don't do that.
Yeah.
That's other do's and don'ts.
Figure it out amongst yourselves. That's all you.
Yeah, hunt together or set up on opposite sides of the field and battle each other.
Man, I appreciate you being on here. You've been an interesting guest. We want to hear the rest of the story. The big 1.5, buddy. That's World Star. You're there. You're
I hope that you were able to monetize this video. So good.
I think he does have it monetized.
Pay for those legal fees, maybe. I don't know. Hopefully not. There you go.
Well, tell us your website real quick. If anyone wants to come hunt with you, where can they look you up at?
If they want to get yelled at with you, where can they go to?
No Limits Waterfowl.com. It's,
who owns No Limits Waterfowl?
Right there on the sub sheet. It's Jay Sandell. He actually has a fishing charter down in Florida too. If you guys are
tell Jay he owes a fishing trip for the free plug. So, anyways, we appreciate you being on here, man. You be safe. God bless you. Have a great. It's Halloween night tonight.
Yeah, you going out catting?
I'm going.
This is when you can find the real slutty girls. Tonight they get to dress the way they really want to dress.
That's right.
I guess I won't say it, but there ain't much.
You done pissed everybody off in the state now, boy.
But you're not wrong though. Like, I've been there a couple times, and I don't know.
But you ain't having to go to a bar now. You're going to go to a bar because we have a lot of downloads in North Dakota because a lot of waterfowl hunters up there.
Pretty popular.
And some girls are going to go, listen here, you fucking asshole.
This is what you could have had. She's going to show you this old beaver, and you'll be like, well, thank God I missed out on that. No. I'll pass. Hard pass. All right, bud. Well, good luck the rest of your season. Thank you for coming on here and answering all of our questions. And if you haven't seen the video, it's pretty easy to find. Just look up North Dakota duck hunting harassment, and you can add to the 1.5 million. And listen, you got the ass chewing, so like hopefully you're getting some of this money that he's getting off of this video, because you need
I'm
a
gonna have to
royalty
talk
fee.
to him
So
about that.
if you have any problems, let us know. But Good luck the rest of the
Yeah.
waterfowl season. I hope you finish strong, and hopefully this this front that's coming brings you what you need, bud.
I appreciate
you
it,
have a good
guys.
day.
Thanks for
Bye.
having me. You guys take care.
The first person we've ever had have someone come in to offer to vacuum for them while we were starting the podcast up.
Would you like for me to vacuum that? No, I'm about to do a podcast, and I'm going to need you to leave.
Let me tell you a story of the stupid ass shit our government does. And I talked to you about this earlier. There's a refuge in southwest Oklahoma that was full, and they have drained it to fix a leaky valve for the next 3 months it's going to take. So during waterfowl season, you pay all your tax dollars to get
To hunt this place.
to hunt this place, to hold waterfowl, and then when waterfowl season gets here, you're going to drain it. Then this, and there's got to be more to this story. There's but every time I think someone in the government has got some common sense,
This happens?
you see them covering up Paul Pelosi. So who knows?
Do you think that was a lover?
Yes,
Lover gone bad?
yeah. The glass on the door shows it got knocked from the inside out.
Glass on the door.
The patio door, they say he used a hammer and broke into the house. Well, if you're going to knock into it, there'd be glass on the inside of the house, not on the outside.
So the glass, he hit it, and the glass is outside.
Yes.
Okay.
So he was probably
But that was Paul. Paul had the hammer when
Yeah.
the police arrived.
yeah, I think it was a sausage fest. So I think
Because the
happened.
third party let him in,
Yeah, supposedly.
according to some reports.
When he got to DWI, there was an unknown person with him. They've never released who it was. And
Probably
I'm
this
assuming
guy?
that would really be ironic if it's the same dude. But I think there's more to it. Listen, I'm not shocked by anything the government does, but the government The funny thing is, this dude was a hemp-loving, nudist,
Right.
progressive, but they want to make him out to a Trump supporter. How many nudists in San Francisco are Trump lovers? None.
I want to know how many people in San Francisco, period, voted for Trump. Like, it's got to be very, very small.
I think it's probably more than you think it is. I think there's a hidden Trump voters, but a nude hammer guy is not one of them, I don't think.
No.
Was the video of Obama, was that the truth? Of him
I've
them
seen
chanting FJB? He
I've
just kept
seen it.
chanting it the whole time. He's like, listen.
I've seen
listen.
it, but they're saying it's fake.
Well, but everybody says it, but you can't trust the media.
Oh.
Anyways, there's a video going around of Obama having a rally, and everybody starts chanting FJB.
FJB. We all know what that means.
And he's like, listen. This is what we got to talk about. We got to, we got to have a discussion. It ain't a discussion. You're talking up there on the stage, and you're the only one with a mic telling us your shit. But people have had it with this shit going on in the world, and I think this Pelosi deal is just more cover up. I think he's into men, and I think by looking at Nancy, that's really a tough decision.
Yeah, I've not seen the guy, but I'm going to bet he's probably prettier than Nancy.
56,000 people voted for Trump. 12%.
Is he going to show it? It says.
Sir, wait, come on. But this is what I mean. This is what I mean. I mean, we're having a conversation. Right now, I'm talking. You'll have a chance to talk.
See, so they've made it to where you can't hardly hear. That's not the video that I saw.
No, but it is the same people, though.
Yes.
The video I saw, the same people, and they're starting to chant FJB, and what's on YouTube, they're not going to show nothing.
I saw it on YouTube.
Well, they've probably taken it down now.
It was a short is what it was.
But people they're tired of this shit. I mean, I don't care. Food is expensive. Gas prices, electricity, your power, everything is up. People are struggling. People have had it. You can tell me, you can stand in a room and say, oh, I'm a Democrat. And then when you go vote, you think, you know what, macaroni and cheese is $4 a box. It was $1.25. And I got 6 hungry kids to feed. I'm voting on this other side. I want some changes. I'm not going to tell nobody about it, but people are had it.
Let me see if this is it. Probably not. Oh, that wasn't it either. I think they've taken it down.
But
none of these are the videos that I saw.
In the Nancy deal, the guy's like, "Where's Nancy? Where's Nancy?"
Right.
The guy wasn't there. Where's Nancy? Because he wants to wants to hit her with the hammer. He's there, Nancy, because he's having an affair with her husband, and he wants her to tell him, "Listen, I've been sleeping with your husband for a long time." Blah. That's what I think's going on.
Been sucking my D.
That's what I think it's about. But I think there's more to this than just.
This is the one that I saw.
Yes.
But that. I don't know. I mean, that could be fake. See, this is what's scary is that I can't tell you that is real because I've seen the one video where obviously they've taken one of those videos is not correct.
That's exactly right, and you don't know which one to trust.
Right.
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if they did it.
If we go by the first video, it looks like the fuck Joe Biden is added in later.
Right.
But if one of those videos isn't right.
That's exactly right. And I'm curious to see what it is. But I don't trust the media, do you? They're bought and paid for.
Right.
Everything you see, if you read, today, you pick up Yahoo, because I looked at Yahoo earlier, headlines are, well, it looks like the Democrats are going to keep control of the Senate. They're leading all 4 close races. That's not what I'm hearing on the other side. The other side says they're losing all 4 of them. I don't know, but I can't imagine being in Arizona. Well, and then we heard last night that the NFL was going to pull the Super Bowl if the Republican won the governorship. I don't believe that. I don't think the NFL is that fucking stupid. They've already dealt with all the shit with the chanting, the Black Lives Matter, and all the other shit. That didn't do them any good. All they did was lose a bunch of viewership. Well, they're not going to get in the middle of that damn deal with the governor's race. Why would you do that?
Yeah, it seems like that's what she said.
That's what I'm saying. There's no way the NFL.
I think she's kind of stoking that flame a little bit.
I think she's trying to put their feet to the candle. She's doing the same thing that the other side does usually. She dares them to pull 2023. They're not going to pull it. If anybody learned the lesson, look what happened to Georgia when they pulled the All-Star game. And now that's also played a big part into them probably going to lose this election. You pissed off a bunch of people that really weren't into politics.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
So, anyway, I don't know.
I don't think that the NFL is stupid enough to pull that. I just really don't. Why would you say, if we're only going to have our Super Bowls in places with blue states, well, then just take all the football teams out of red states and we'll quit watching them.
Yeah. During an interview over the weekend, Lake, the GOP nominee for governor, was asked how she would handle the NFL threatening to pull the Super Bowl over her stance on immigrations. So it seemed like that was a speculative question.
I don't like,
really
I think
the reporter. I think the reporter was like, if you win and the NFL comes at you and says, "Hey, change your stance on this, or we're pulling our Super Bowl," how would you handle it? I don't think that the NFL has said anything. So
yeah, there's no way in the world that the NFL is going to take a stance on who gets elected governor. They're not that stupid. First of all, I really believe, I don't know about the locker room, but I'm going to bet you that locker room is close to everything else 50-50 on Republicans and Democrats.
Right.
Even though the league is made up of about 80% African Americans. I believe it's probably close to 50-50 because those African Americans got a lot of money and they understand what's good for their money. But if you took the stands at a football game, I'm going to bet you're looking at 70-30 Republicans to Democrats.
Right.
And I'm going to bet if you went to a Dallas Cowboys stadium with 100,000 people, I bet 90,000 of them are Republicans.
What do you think of this Michigan State fiasco?
You know, I didn't really watch a lot of it. First of all, if you're dumb enough to run into another team's locker room and get your ass beat,
it was all in the tunnel.
Oh, it was I thought it was in the locker room.
No, they share a tunnel.
That's stupid in the first place.
They share a tunnel, and then you can see a kid from Michigan, you see one kid from Michigan, and like he's running to the locker room, and he gets in front of Michigan State. And as he goes, it looks like security stops the rest of the Michigan team from entering the tunnel. And then I'm sure he's jawing.
No.
And he gets the fuck beat out of him.
I'm going to tell you what, that NFL game last night was pretty chippy. That defensive back for Green Bay,
Jair Alexander,
is not a fan of Stephon Diggs.
No, there's not a whole lot of people that are.
That Stephon Diggs? Does he run his mouth a lot?
I think so.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I mean, fuck, you can see it. He runs his mouth all the time. Yeah, I don't think that there's a whole lot of people that
care much for him.
Outside of like
he being your teammate.
Yeah.
Well, that was a very chippy game.
It was. And Green Bay, I think Green Bay they got some calls that went against them.
They didn't get embarrassed like they thought they were going to be. They played a really good football team. They got beat by, 10 points?
Yeah, 27-17. So they covered the spread.
But they played.
It was 10.5, Jeff.
They played a good game. But they didn't just roll over like they thought they were. They may have some dog in them still, but they've got a tough road to hold. They've lost to Washington, and they've lost to the Giants, and they're going to have to be playing to that wild card spot between those two teams probably.
What is going on with our internet? This is ridiculous. We've got Starlink, and I can't even pull up a fucking video.
There it goes now. I don't know.
We got to talk to Musk. Listen, he's got this Twitter thing, and now all of a sudden,
well, he's killing the liberals are crying over that shit.
And now all of a sudden, he's not paying attention to Starlink or something like that. Okay, here
everything we can't talk about on here, we can tweet, and they ain't canceling you.
Well, just like you said, they're not concerned at all that Bezos has Washington Post, but
no. Did you see Hillary got a deal put on her, a strike on her on Twitter for putting out false information?
No.
Yeah, she posted something, and Elon said, "Nope, that's That's false."
See, and now I don't even see the video on here. This is beyond ridiculous. What do we got? Nothing. It's all black. Oh, there we go. VRBO. Just show me the fucking security footage. Now, there were people. So there we go. We're in the tunnel. Beats the shit out of him. Pushes him back out. Somebody takes a helmet off and mollywops one of the guys. Let's see. Harbaugh was not a fan. But yeah, you can see number one. He gets in front of everybody. But I guess we're not going to see it.
Oh, I tell you what wears me out, and I see it happen all the time. We're going to war. No, you're playing a fucking football game. That's not war. Right. You know? I can't remember the last time someone got killed in playing football.
You can't?
No. You can?
No.
See, me neither. I don't. So it's not war. It's just a game. I mean, it is a physical game. It's a modern day gladiators, but you're not going to battle or to war. You're going, you battle, but you're not going to war.
Well, you are on the field, but when you step into that tunnel,
it's
when
over.
you step on off of the gridiron and onto the sideline, you're not going to war anymore.
No, you can learn something from the NFL because if you watch after the game's over, those guys, as a matter of fact, I watched in the game the other day, George Kittle was playing the Rams.
Yeah.
And George Kittle did something, and the guy, and they got blocking and shit, knocked him down. They got up and they were smiling, and it's a job. It's a job, you know? Right. College is a job now because them fuckers are getting paid.
Yeah.
So I had a conversation yesterday with my friend Steve Barber. Loves to rip on Texas A&M all the time. Jimbo Fisher this, Jimbo Fisher that. And I told him, he was telling me about Jimbo Fisher, and I said, Steve, I said, they're stupid if they fire Jimbo Fisher. You know, I said, we're dealing with a whole new thing in college football now because now not only are you dealing with a kid who's 19 years old who thinks he's smarter than everybody and has his ass kissed for a third of his life, so he thinks he's above everything. You're dealing with a kid that's got a lot of money now because some of these really good football players are getting millions of dollars a year to play college football. What's going to motivate him to work hard and do what you tell him to do? He's set for the rest of his life right now. I said, that's a problem that college has that they used to not have before. You used to, as a coach, if you didn't mind and you played at Alabama and you didn't do what the coaches saw, they get rid of your ass and they catch off the team and you'd get transferred somewhere else and you may or may not get a shot to play in the NFL. But they could hold that over your head that if you play hard, you got a chance in the NFL. They don't have that luxury over them no more because these kids are getting paid. And I think college football has changed for the worse because of this.
It's definitely changed.
Yeah, it hasn't gotten any better. You know?
I can't find the video of the helmet getting swung, but anyway, it doesn't matter. It's not a good look, regardless.
No. They had a high school incident this weekend, one of my buddies where he coaches at, and a kid took a gun into a locker room. Wasn't even a student. A 20-year-old guy went in there and threatened some kids in the locker room.
Right.
It's society we live in, you know?
Yep. Just
crazy-ass people all the time. All right, we're going to have we'll have a guides roundtable at the end of the week. All the guides get here. We kick off hunting. We start goose hunting on Saturday. Got a lot of geese here. I've still got a few dates left here and there. I can work in some small groups, and I got some dates in December that I've got 4 or 5 dates in December, 6 that I can still work in goods. But anyways, I look forward to everybody coming to hunt with us this year. If you have any questions, holler at us. You need to have a license, and you need to have shells, and you need to have your own gun.
And a plug in your gun.
And a plug in your gun. And all other rules that apply here just like they do everywhere else.
Mm-hmm. That's true.
Check-in is 4 o'clock. Dinner's at 6 p.m. Those are the most asked questions I get every day.
Works for me. All right. Everybody have a safe and happy Halloween.
Oh, hold on. Before we get off here, if you're wanting your wife to buy you a Christmas present for a hunt, tell her to get a hold of me pretty soon. I've had a lot of those lately, people wanting to know about hunts and any requests I have. If you're wanting your wife or you're hinting to your wife that she wanted her to send you down here for a hunt, please have her get a hold of me quick and get some dates. Thank you very much. God bless you and have a great day.
Happy Halloween, everybody. Go check out our sponsors. Go check out Dirty Duck Coffee. Take advantage of the promo code Big Honker. Saves 15% or get on their subscription program, and that saves 20%. Ducks Unlimited, Double T British Kennels, Stanfield Hunting Outfitters, Hunt Proof app. Listen, it's free or you can do the paid version, but either way, go set up an account. Alpha Outdoor Specialties, Bangtail Whiskey, Looking Glass Podcast, Lucky Duck, Shin Gear Waders, Gundog Outdoors, Pacific Calls, VHP 25, Dive Bomb Industries, and Boss Shot Shells.